Hi everyone, welcome to practice. Today we are going to focus our practice in an asana that usually appears in most yoga classes, but we don't really pay much attention to what the body is doing because it normally gets us very tired and it tends to appear towards the end of the class. The asana I'm talking about is Navasana, boat pose. This is a very intense, strong, core activating asana, but not only the muscles on our belly there are being used, but like also the lower back and especially the hip flexors because we are holding the legs up. So we are going to work today on asanas that will build the strength and the mobility around the hip flexor, asanas that are going to flare up the core muscle. And when we come to the actual pose, I will show you some modifications that you can do if you're still building up that strength, and also some fun variations if you want to make it more intense, if you want to make it a little bit more challenging. So come to practice with me. You're going to need one block, or something like a book that has a little bit of weight, and it doesn't need to be like square or anything, but that is a little bit heavy. So we start by sitting comfortably on the mat, cross-legged, bring your hands to the knees. We just take a few deep, long breaths here to ground ourselves. And then as we inhale, slowly open the arms, bring the arms over the head, interlace the fingertips, stretch it up, look up to your hands. As you exhale, bring the hands to the chest, push the hands forward, separate the shoulder blades, but keep the spine straight. Inhale, release the hands, interlace them behind you. Push the chest up and look up. And as you exhale, separate the hands, interlace them again, and this time round the spine, push the hands forward. Look down. Inhale, come up. And exhale, release. Rotate the shoulders. Release any tension that you're feeling around the chest, around the neck, around the trapezius here. Breathing still long and deep. And we're going to go straight into tabletop. So place the hands in front of you on the mat. Align your wrists to your shoulders, your knees to your hips. Make sure that your hands are firmly planted on the mat. Spread your fingertips wide, aligning either the middle finger or the index finger towards the front of the mat. Have the tops of the feet on the floor with the feet pointing straight back. Engage your core here. Find your straight spine. Feel your tailbone pointing straight back, so not down or up for now. And really feel the contact of your hands with the floor. If you're locking the elbows, you give it a micro bend, so you take the effort from the joint. And we're going to begin some cat-cow just to warm up the spine. As you inhale, send the tailbone up. Drop the belly in, push the chest forward, look forward. As you exhale, round the spine, drop the tailbone, press the hands firmly on the mat, dropping the head, squeeze the belly in. Inhale, tailbone up, extend the belly, push the chest forward, push the hands. Exhale, drop the tailbone. Separate the shoulder blades, drop the head and squeeze your belly button towards your spine. One more, inhale. Come into cow pose. Exhale, round for angry cat. Come into neutral spine. Inhale, we're going to extend the right leg back, flex your foot. Imagine that you have a wall behind you and you're pressing the heel against the wall. So feel a little stretch coming to the side here of your waist even. So press, keep the arms strong, keep the tailbone tucked. So resist the temptation to drop here. Keep everything tucked. Flex the foot. Inhale. Exhale. Bend the knee. Round the spine. Point your toe. Bring your knee towards the forehead. Inhale. Extend. Flex the foot. Straighten the spine. Exhale. Bend. Inhale. Extend. Exhale. Bend. Inhale, extend. This time, now extend the left arm as well. Find your balance. Use the core here. Squeeze your pelvic floor muscles. Exhale, bring the elbow to the knee. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bend. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bend, and this time stay here, squeeze in. Feel that your core is contracting. Belly button in. Feel your hip flexor holding your leg up. Squeeze, 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 and release. You're going to come to the left side, extend the left leg back, lift the leg up, flex the foot. Imagine that wall behind you. So really press the heel against the wall. Core engaged. Pressing the hands firmly here, so don't collapse on the shoulder. Keep pressing. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Knee to forehead. Inhale, push back. Exhale, knee to forehead. Inhale, push it back. Exhale, knee to forehead. Inhale, push it back. This time now extend the right arm. Find your balance here. Engage the core, contract the pelvic floor muscles. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, press, extend. Exhale. One more time, inhale. Exhale, this time stay here, squeeze, press the hands, contract your core, squeeze the hip flexor, and release. Sit back onto your heels in Vajrasana. Rotate your wrists here, release a little bit of that pressure, of that tension both ways. Then shake the wrists. Take a deep breath in. We're going to come into child's pose. But I want you to pay attention as you come down onto your hip flexors here. So as you come down to child's pose, you can even have your fingertips onto the hip flexor a little bit. And then feel how the hip here is folding onto your fingertips as you come down to the knees. Touch the head lightly, and then on inhale, come up with a straight spine, and notice the activation here of the hip flexor. Exhale, we come down. Inhale, we come up. You're going to do this a couple of more times. You can do like this with the hands here. If you want to make it a little bit more intense, you extend the arms over the head. Inhale and exhale. Slowly, try to control here. Don't drop completely towards the floor. Inhale, we come up. Using the core, feel the core activation related here to the hip flexor. And as we exhale, we come down. If having the hands here is too difficult, keep the hands down on the hip flexor as we did before. Come up, extending the arms, using the core. And exhale, we come down. Slowly, with control. This time we stay down here. Drop the head. You can drop the arms alongside the body if they feel tired. And then slowly extend the arms forward. Take the elbows off the floor. Look at your hands. Make sure that your fingers are spread wide and the hands are shoulder distance apart. Come up to your knees. Tuck the toes. Send the tailbone back. Rotate the biceps forward. And then we're going to lift up into downward facing dog. Start to take the knees off the floor. Press onto the hands. Stretch the arms. Keep the knees bent for as long as possible. Only when your arms are aligned with your ears, then you begin to extend, sending the heels towards the floor. Doesn't matter if they don't touch the floor. Tailbone up towards the ceiling, belly button in and up. Really feeling a good stretch on the sides of the armpit. And then inhale, look at your hands. Bend the knees, take a big step towards the front, halfway lift. Exhale, fall forward, bend the knees here if you need to. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands down. Find your Tadasana here, mountain pose. So feel your feet firmly grounded onto the floor, weight distributed equally between the front and the back of the foot. You can have the feet hip distance apart or feet together. Lift the arches of the feet as if you're trying to suck the floor with the feet. Drop the tailbone, belly in, chest up, shoulders back and down, fingertips pointing to the floor, gaze towards the tip of the nose. We're going to do Surya Namaskar B here once, just to then stretch the hip flexor. Inhale, bend the knees, lift the arms up. Look towards your fingertips, Utkatasana. Drop the tailbone here. Exhale, fall forward. Feel how your hip flexors are being active here. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, we step or jump back. For Chaturanga, bend the elbows. Look a little bit straight ahead. Inhale. Upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, step with the right foot in between the hands. Back foot 45 degrees. Come up into Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale, hands down. Back into Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, step with the left foot in between the hands. Turn the back foot 45 degrees. Come up. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. We hold here for 5 breaths. 1. Send the tailbone up. 2. Lift your quadriceps, engaging the legs. 3. Belly button in and up. 4. Rotate your biceps up towards the ceiling. Relax the head. And 5. Now inhale, look towards the hands, bend the knees, walk, step or jump forward. Halfway lift. Exhale, fall forward. Inhale, bend the knees, come up. Exhale, hands down. And then Surya Namaskar A, you're going to stop there into downward dog, work a little bit more on hip flexor. So inhale, arms up. Exhale, fall forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, walk, step or jump back for Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. We'll stay here. Take a couple of breaths. And as we inhale now, lift the right leg up. Point the foot. Exhale, take the left heel off the floor, bend the right knee, and bring the knee to the chest. Hold here. Inhale, up. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale, up. Exhale, knee to chest. And hold. Inhale, up. Exhale, release the leg. We come to the left side. Inhale, lift the left leg up. Point the foot. Slowly take the right heel off the floor, bend the knee, knee to chest. Inhale, up. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale, up. One more time. Exhale, knee to chest. Hold. Look a little bit straight ahead on the mat. Inhale, up. Exhale, release. Look at your hands, bend the knees, walk, step or jump, halfway lift. Exhale, fall. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Take a couple of breaths here. Regain your regular, normal breath. And we are gonna stand in front of the mat. Working on a little balance here, also working on the hip flexor. As you inhale, bend the knee, bring the knee towards the chest, hug the knee in here. Relax the shoulders, tailbone drop down, belly in, contract your pelvic floor muscles here. Point your toe. Deep, long breaths. If you can, push the knee a little bit closer to the chest, inhale, and as you exhale, extend the leg forward. Look at your toes, slightly point the foot. Hold the leg with your hip flexor here. Don't lean back. If this feels quite difficult to you, you can lean against the wall. Do this against the wall. If your leg lifts here, it's good enough, yeah? But just hold the weight of the leg with the hip flexor. Inhale, kick. Exhale, we come back. And we're going to do the other side. Inhale, bend the knee. Hold the knee. Drop the tailbone, belly in, chest open. Deep breaths here. Really feel the rib cage expanding. Strong supporting leg. Don't lock that leg. Keep the leg with a micro bend. Inhale, if you can, pull the knee closer towards you. Exhale, release, extend the leg forward. You can have them up here. You can have it low here. It doesn't matter. As long as you feel you're holding with the hip flexor, so don't lean back. Look at your toes, slightly point the foot. Inhale, kick. Exhale, release. Very good. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, just come down to sit on the mat. So we're going to do Navasana now. So feel how your hip flexors are feeling now. They're probably very fired up and activated. So then it's going to make it a little bit easier to hold. So for Navasana, what I like to do is that you bend the knees here, plant the feet firmly on the floor, place your hands under the knees, and lean back until your arms are extended. So this will give you a good indication of the distance between your chest and your knee. So you shouldn't be like too close here, but then you shouldn't be too far back if your spine has to round. Just gently extend the arms here. And then as you inhale, lift the feet off the floor, extend the arms. So notice that I am not rounding my back here. I keep pushing the chest forward. There is a little round on the lumbar spine, but that's the natural curve of the spine. My arms are parallel here. The palms are facing each other. My feet are slightly pointed. And the chest is lifted, and I'm looking towards my toe. If you want to do the full version of the asana, we extend the legs and look up. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, hold your knee here. Now, if this was very challenging for you, then I'm going to give you a couple of variations that you can do. The first one is that you keep your hands down on the floor. So you set yourself, find the distance, but then place the hands down here, a little bit ahead of your hips, and then lift the legs. Keeping the knees bent will help you with the weight of the legs. But the only thing to pay attention is that if you have your hands here, don't collapse. Keep pushing the chest forward. Another thing that you can do is to gently hold the legs here, still keeping the chest forward. You can then play along with this. Good. If you want to do like more advanced or fun variations, I like to do this one with the block or with whatever object that you have there. So you set up for Navasana, keep the block close to you. Set up for Navasana, whichever version you're doing, knees bent or knees extended. Grab the block, and then we're gonna work on lifting one leg at a time, passing the block in between. And then I can change direction. Yeah? And then there are also a lot of different variations you can do here. You can have the hands and bring the legs to you and extend. You can open the legs and close. You can turn to access the obliques, the side muscles. So you can turn the leg to one way, the hands go the other way. And release. And one last thing in Navasana, it is sometimes happens that students have pain in the tailbone here or in the sitting bones when they access the pose, especially after injury. So it's quite common, like those accidents where you fall and you sit, and then you kind of injure the tailbone. It's a type of injury that takes ages to heal, and it can cause discomfort for a long time, even like maybe the whole life, and then you have to modify the practice accordingly. And if you have that kind of discomfort in the tailbone, sitting in Navasana like this, it's very uncomfortable because it's right where the bone here touches the floor is where usually the pain is. So a solution, if you have that kind of pain, is it's a slightly different asana, but it's the same effect, that is called Nabhi Asana. So it's navel asana. Yeah, Nabhi means navel. So for Nabhi Asana, instead of holding up here, you're going to come down and just keep the shoulders off the floor. Like this, your tailbone is not touching, it's not pressing against the floor anymore. And it's as effective as Navasana. You really feel the core here. And you can do it like this, and you can extend the legs. The lower you bring the legs, it can be more challenging. And then you can play here. The key thing in this variation is that you don't let the lower back come off the floor. And the only way to keep the lower back, the lumbar spine, strongly pressed against the floor is to contract the core. Because if you are here and if you release the core, the spine is going to extend. Yeah, so you need to really engage to keep the lower back down. And you can play with the height of the legs. So take a deep breath in, exhale, release, hug the knees in. Take a few deep breaths. And because of all this hip flexor activation, now just before we lie in Shavasana, just roll and sit. We want to extend the hip flexor a little bit as a counter pose. So come up in Virasana. So you're going to, as if you were sitting on your heels, but you're going to separate the feet and sit in between. And then from here, we're going to lie back. So you can go as far as is comfortable for you. You just want to feel the stretch here at the front of the body. So you can just come back to your arms like this. If this is already a lot of stretch for you, you stay here. If you can go a little bit deeper, you can bring your elbows down to the floor. Just make sure here, as you come down, first, that your knees don't separate, and also that the knees don't come off the floor. If the knees are coming off the floor, you can place a cushion under the knees. Yeah? And the last stage of this pose is if you can come and lie all the way down. If you feel discomfort here on the lower back, you can also place a cushion under the lower back. If you feel pain under your feet, you can fold a little towel or a blanket to place it here. And then just feel this stretch. Take a few deep, long breaths here, releasing the front, releasing the hip flexors. Relax the core. Inhale, slowly. If you're all the way down here, prop yourself onto your elbows. Slowly come up. Sit. And then careful, release the legs. Lie back. Hug the knees in. Swing from side to side. Massage your lower back. Make circles with the knees. And just before we come down to Shavasana, place the feet down onto the floor. Make sure that you can touch your heels. And we're going to give one last stretch to the whole front of the body by doing half bridge. So as you inhale, press the heels down, lift the hips up, keep the knees going towards each other, and just lift here. Feel that stretch. Take a few more breaths. And slowly exhale, come down. Bring the knees in one more time. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, extend the legs, extend the arms. Lie in Shavasana. Close your eyes. Relax the whole body. And you can stay in Shavasana for as long as you need. Thank you very much for taking this class today. I'll see you next time. Namaste.